Angle sets, again, that's also going to be explained here in great detail. Um, so that is that's that. And then there's usually one pass set that pretty much only players at a certain position will use, just based off what they see, and what their job descriptions are, right? So, for example, like the only people that vertical set in our offense are tackles. Our inside guys will never set vertically off line of scrimmage like that. Okay, and even our tackles won't vertical set very often. Um, uh, our guards are the only ones in our offense that will upset or upkick, just because they're playing more so in phone booths and that kind of stuff. And then our centers, based off when you're playing the bare front teams or the odd front teams with zero noses, where they're matched up one on one with a guy that has a double edge on them. We give them the ability to kind of snatch set or stab set, just curveballs, to help them be more successful and more effective against one-on-one rushers who will line up dead in front of them. So um, so we're going to kind of go through the base pass sets that we teach, each one of our again, our tackles, our guards, and our centers. There's a bunch of film here of our guys executing these sets against different looks. Most of them are game clips, some are practice or scrimmage clips or whatnot. But they're all our guys from all different, from the last 4 years now. Different guys, different situations, all kind of being able to learn and execute. Okay, right. These base pass sets. Um, I'm not going to talk that much because you probably won't have time, about like the mirror phase and recovery and the ability to stay in a good position or get yourself back into a good position once you take your set and now the defender you're trying to block is moving. There's a lot more stuff to that, but to me, like someone asked the question in the last session, like, what do you feel is more important, like feet or hands? And to me, it's like, who cares how good of a puncher you are or how powerful you are with your hands or whatever. If you can't move your feet to get yourself into an effective position to block somebody, run or pass, to me, that is a death sentence. Okay. I was college teammates with a guy named Eric Winston, who was a second or third round draft pick out of Miami for the Houston Texans and played in the NFL for like 14, 15 years and was the NFLPA president and everything. And I still don't think Eric has ever thrown a punch in pass pro that's been effective, right? But he had phenomenal feet and he was super, super smart. And he was able to play for a long time, be very successful because of his feet, way more so than his hands. So I'm not trying to say that people that coach punch or teach punch whatever are not smart or not whatever. There is a place for it, and we do spend some time drilling it. But if you're going to give me, 20 minutes to work on pass pro, I'm going to probably give at least 15 minutes of that right to our sets, to our feet, to our body, and the last 5 maybe right to our hands. Okay. All right. So in terms of pass sets, okay, right, that are tackles. So we'll start with tackles first, right? So the first thing is an inside set. Okay, so an inside set is going to be used right when the defender that you're trying to protect, okay, we're trying to block, right, is aligned on your inside shoulder, right? So and you have them one on one, right? So this could be a tackle on a 4-eye on the man side, a guard on a 2-eye on the man side. We'll see some later on, right? So the whole point of the inside set is we want to just take our inside foot and move it laterally about 3 to 6 inches. Okay, just to get our screws, right? The screws of our face mask squared up right on the screws of our defender's face mask. We're not trying to get inside leverage of this guy, right? Especially at tackle, because most 4-eyes, right, that align that way want the tackle to overset inside to create a short corner to work back outside, right? And we don't want to give him that short corner. So we want to make that guy try to bull rushes and work right through us. We're going to sit right down the middle of the guy. Okay, right. It's really the only time on the man side of protection that we'll ever set down the middle of a guy. Usually we're going to set we'll be inside out. But it's just too far to go when you're inside setting on the man side. Okay, right. So the left tackle here, right, has that 4-eye by himself. Okay, right. He's inside setting, right to that guy's right screws, right, kind of like just kind of slow playing it, and the guy right that 4-eye, he's doing what? He's hoping that we overset so we can turn back out and create a short corner for himself. We don't do that, right? We're able to plant and redirect off of it, right? And that makes the guy work through us. And now it turns into a fist fight as opposed to right here, right? Okay, a race where we're trying to chase a guy down, which that plays into our favor, obviously. So now we're blocking him on our terms and not blocking him on his terms. Okay, it's a good example there. Left tackle, same thing here, right? He's got a 4-eye, right? I'm sorry, right tackle. I apologize. Right tackle's got a 4-eye, right? So he's going to set inside, right? See how he barely moves his outside foot, guys, right? We don't want to move that foot very far if we can avoid it, right? And what's happening, right? The 4-eye's kind of hoping, right, that we overset inside, so we create a short corner for himself. We don't take the cheese, right? So now we have a nice wide edge, right? Now it's to run laterally away to try to find our outside half, right? We can punch, we can recover, we can work our outside hands, right? But notice how our feet are constantly moving, okay, right? And they're widening, right? And they're creating a great pocket for us here at tackle. Okay. All right, right tackle here, same thing, right? Okay. He's got that 4-eye one-on-one by himself, right? He's going to set inside. See him barely move the outside foot, guys, right? Same thing, right to the screws. Okay. Make the guy work through your body, right? Make him want to bull rush you. Okay, right? They don't want to do that, right? They want to work back outside. Right now they're running away from the quarterback. Right now we have the leverage that we want right there. Okay, so good job of the right tackle there. Okay. Right tackle again here, all right? Gets a 4-eye, right? Now I said inside, and the guy stays inside. Okay, good, right? Well, don't panic, right? Stay in good rhythm, right? Stay square. Eventually, right? We can power him down and run him into the guard, right? Or he'll work back outside, right? And we're in a great position, right, to be successful. Okay. All right, when we look at it here, right tackle inside set. Boom. Right, great job there, right? Barely moves the outside foot, right? It's a great job. Right. All right, there's a bunch of examples of this here. You guys get it right. So next, okay, so those are all inside sets, right? A lateral set is essentially the exact same thing, but now instead of the guy being a tight inside shade, now is a tight outside shade. So really, an inside set, we used to call it an inside lateral set. We just took the word lateral. Now it's an inside set and a lateral set. But now a lateral set is the same thing. I'm in this case, a right tackle. I have a tight 5 technique, right? Okay, so we use lateral sets, right, when the guy's aligned on our outside half, but he's really tight to our body. Like his hand is inside of our framework, right? Because if he's aligned that tight, he's probably doing one of two things. He's probably going to try to work an inside rush or work a bull rush. And either way, giving ground or going out isn't the answer. We want to set him right away, right? Now move the inside foot, right? Get into a posture where we're ready to fight him, essentially, okay, right? And make him work through our bodies, right? So the right tackle here, that defensive end's almost head up on him. So it's a very, very, very tight technique, right? So we're going to set lateral very, very tight, okay, right? Not move the inside foot pretty much at all, right? And now force that guy to work through us. Now, as they twist and they run around, right now we're just working angle mirrors, right? We're just kind of working through these guys, right? That's a great job at right tackle right there. Okay, left tackle here, same thing, right? That guy is aligned almost head up on him right there, right? So he's lateral sets, doesn't go anywhere, right? Okay, and the DN's almost frozen. He's like, well, wait a minute, why aren't you going backwards, right? He was expecting him to go back or something, you know what I mean? So great job by the left tackle there, lateral setting, and then working his angle mirror, right, post contact. Okay. All right, right tackle here, okay, right? He's got a really, really tight 5 technique, right? The guy's kind of cocked into him, right? It's a great job right there, man, right? Lateral set. See him barely move the inside foot, man. It's incredible, right? It's a perfect drill shot right there. Boom, right? Great posture, right? Make the guy work through your body right there, okay, right? Do not give him an edge, right? Don't overset, right? Make him work through you, right? Make him have to work through your body, right? As opposed to find a soft shoulder somewhere. All right, left tackle here, right? Same thing, right? He has a really, really tight 5 technique. That guy's obviously aligning tight, so you can work back inside. You can watch his outside foot, right? Set, and then plant, work back inside, redirect, right? Make him work through your body right there. Good job, left tackle. Okay, left tackle again here, right? So now, right, this guy aligns tight. We lateral set. Right now, he wants to work into our body. Right now, we can strike him right in the freaking chest. Okay, right? and punch the far number, right, and and just work to mirror the guy. Okay, left tackle again, right? He actually sets lateral because this guy kind of tightens down right here. He thinks he's going to go inside. So he works lateral initially. Oh, sorry, right? There's your lateral set. Then the guy kind of widens. So he widens with him, right? But either way, right? He's on the far number, right? He's playing long, right? He has his head away, right? He's in a control grip the entire time. It's a great job, right? Setting and then working your mirror phase based off of how the rusher reacts. Okay, right tackle here again, lateral set. This guy's obviously lined very, very tight. He's kind of cocked in. There's my lateral set, right? I just give my stance to my posture, right? Now that we're in a little twist game, we can pass it off, right? Because there's no penetration, because we're not opening the ground for penetration. So good job of right tackle right there. Okay. All right. Okay. We have more, right? More right tackle lateral sets. Right. The guy's kind of lying tight, right? He's got a guy outside, right? Watch him, right? Set, boom, right? Working square, right? Now I'm redirected back inside, right? Not oversetting, right? Good job there. Another one here, the right tackle. Okay, so we've seen a bunch of these, I think, so far already. Okay, right. All right, so we've seen tackle inside sets, we've seen tackle lateral sets, right? So now we're going to see some tackle angle sets. So this is probably what the tackles are worth the most of, quite frankly. So now we're talking about whether you're man side or short side, doesn't really matter, okay, right? You're setting the end, okay, right? And he's aligned wide off of your body. Okay. So like for example, this end right here, like if we just lateral set and wait for the guy, he might just run around us, right? Because he's aligned so wide. So we have to angle set. And some people call this a B set or a 45 set. We don't call it a 45 set because not every angle set is at 45 degrees. Some are 35, some are 75, right? Just it's the whole point of an angle set for a tackle. It's how flat or deep, like what angle do I have to set at where I can get my hands on the rusher before his third step is firmly in the ground, right? Because if he's gonna go speed of power, if he's gonna go, jab ole, if he's gonna go ice pick and swim, whatever, okay, right? Whatever his move is, he's probably gonna throw it on his third step. So if I can get my hands on it before that third step hits the ground, that's gonna screw up his timing and either speed up his timing, makes him less effective, right? Or right, I'm gonna punch him as he's moving, right, setting his move up right, and then shut it down right away. All right. So again, right, as you're watching this, right, count the rusher steps. You're probably going to see their hands, right? Okay, our tackles' hands getting on those guys, right, before their third steps to the ground. So if you watch the right tackle here, right, watch the end. That's one step. That's two. Before three, right, he's already shut down already, right, and we're forcing him to deviate his path and widen, right, which means he's running away from the quarterback, right, as opposed to towards it, right. All right, left tackle here. All right, same thing. He's got a wide defensive end, right? He knows the guard's coming with him, right? He's going to set aggressively the angle, right? If you count this guy's steps here, right? Don't count the false step. There's one, there's two. He's getting struck on his second step, right? And we're widening his path. We're deviating his path and making him run away, right, from the launch point, right? Okay, and away from the quarterback. We're taking away time and space, right, and rhythm from the rushers, right? We're blocking them on our terms, right, not vice versa. Right tackle here, same thing, right? He's working a wide defensive end, right? Okay, right. He's going to work his angle set, okay, and his hit, and this if you count the end steps, right? There's one, there's two, and he's being struck already, right? He does not have a chance to get his third step in the ground to throw his speed to power, to throw his spin back inside, to whatever his counter rush is, right? He's having to get to it so quickly, right, that we're able to nullify that from being effective. All right, left tackle here, same thing. All right, angle set. He's obviously on that rusher before his third step. He's making him wide and deviate his path as a rusher. Great job there. Okay, left tackle here, same thing. Actually, honestly, both tackles here are going to work angle sets, right? The right tackle and the left tackle. and they both can be pretty effective, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Right tackle here, same thing. All right. Angle set. All right. He angle sets. This guy widens. Right. If you count his steps here, right? There's one, there's two, there's three before it's on the ground, right? He's being punched already, right? Okay. Again, right, his timing is completely off, right? And he never really makes a turn back to the quarterback here. Left tackle here, same thing, right? Angle set, right? Count his steps. There's one, there's two. He's being struck already, right? And being forced to deviate his path, right? Now that twist game, they were counting on the end being a penetrator, right here, right? Kind of gets shut out right there, kind of gets shut out right there. Okay, right tackle here, same thing. He's working an angle set here, eventually. All right. Count this guy's steps here, right? Okay. There's one, there's two. Again, right? He's being forced to turn and deviate his path, right? And run away from the quarterback, right? Because we're kind of invading his space, right? Blocking him on our terms, right? Not his terms. Okay. Left tackle here, same thing. Right. Angle set. All right. Great job in the angle set. There's one, there's two, boom, right? Striking the guy already. Okay, right? Getting on him right away. All right. Really good protection right there, but really by both tackles. All right, right tackle again, angle set, kind of steps here, right? There's one, there's two, boom, right? Getting so again, like and with those kind of simple coaching cues, there are definitely times, right, where the tackles don't get hands on before three steps, right? Because they're giving too much ground, and that's when they get speed of power. That's when they get kind of disragged, right? And you can show them that, say, hey guys, let's look right, count the rusher steps. There's one, there's two, there's three, there's four. Okay, he's getting four before contact, right? No wonder you're losing the rep right there, right? All right, right tackle, same thing here. All right, angle set. One, two, boom, good. All right, so I'm going to kind of move on. All right, so now we're into vertical sets, right? So a vertical set, that's the only people in our offense that set vertically off the line truly are the tackles. Okay. We recruit guards that are shorter, squattier bodies, are powerfully built. We don't want those guys going backwards. All right. Okay. Right. Tackles. Right. Okay. We have a very strict parameters on when we should or shouldn't set vertical. I'm not going to get into that here because it's kind of a whole other presentation. But there's certain things, certain alignments from the defense in certain situations have to be in play, and if they're not in play, then we're not setting vertical. Right? My goal for our tackles is to set vertical as little as possible. And just so you understand the reason why I say that, we study a lot here from the NFL and Division I football. And over the last 3 or 4 years, the number one pass rush move that has led to the most amount of sacks in both the NFL and Division I football, and it's almost 3 to 1. Okay, is speed to power. All right, speed to power is by far the most effective pass rush move in terms of generating sacks over the last 3 to 4 years, both in the NFL and in college football. So everything we're doing, right? So essentially, if that's that's the defense's fastball. Everything we're doing is trying to get them to get off the fastball, right? So by setting vertically, you're not taking away time, space, or rhythm. You're giving them every opportunity to speed to power you into submission. Okay. So I'm not saying vertical sets are evil, they're bad, they have no place. I'm just saying that you got to be very, very judicious with how you use them because they're the hardest set to master and the easiest one to break down for the defense. Okay. So, for us, ideally in a game, for our starting tackles, if we can get them based off of game plan and technique and coaching, whatever, to set vertically less than 6 to 8 times a game, that's perfect, right? Once you get into 10 to 12 to plus range, it means you're probably throwing the ball way too much. It means that your chance of being successful are going to be really hard because if you show a good pass rusher 12 or 10 to 12 vertical sets in the game or more, you're bound to lose half of those, and half of the ones you lose might turn into fumbles or turnovers. So anyways, so you won't see a ton of vertical sets on our film, but when you do see them, hopefully you see, effective. So the right tackle here, for example, right? So, all right, he's going to set vertically. Okay, right? And vertical doesn't mean hauling ass backwards, right? It means setting at the pace of the rusher, right? So his rusher doesn't go very deep, very fast. So he sets kind of slow, and he's able to kind of bump off right the twist game here, right, with the right guard. Okay, all right. Right tackle here, same thing, right? So, right, this is a third down and long situation, right? They're in a 6-up look, right? Okay, we're thinking, right, here comes some twist game stuff, right? He's in a set vertical, right? His guy, right, stops his feet stop, right? He's bumping off right away, right? We're thinking about passing on twist games here. Okay. All right, left tackle here, same thing, right? Okay, right. He's got some stuff going on, right, in his mind that he thinks, hey, this is a good opportunity for a vertical set here. He sets vertical, right? They get a twist game. All right, great job of him keeping the B gap nice and tight. Right, passes it off. Right, okay, gives a quarterback all time to have a cup of coffee and a sandwich back there. Right, and throw a touchdown pass. All right, right tackle, same thing here. Right, you got a exotic third and long kind of 5-up look here. Right, okay, we're thinking some kind of twist game. He's in a set vertical. Right, we're thinking about passing stuff off here. Okay, left tackle here, same thing. Right, he's in a set vertical. Right, there's threat of twist. There's stuff going on. Right, set vertical. His guy drops, right? He can take the tackle over, right? And the guard can go buy back, go help somebody else out now. All right, right tackle, same thing here. All right, set vertical, right? Threat of twist or movement or pressure. Nothing shows up right now. It becomes one-on-one, right? The wide ass rusher, right? Great job of playing long, right? And striking the far number there. Okay. All right. So those are all the different sets. I think we're good on time, right? Yeah. So those are all the different sets that are tackles are going to take, right? Okay. Again, inside, lateral, angle, and vertical. Those are the four main ones, right? We're going to go to the guards now. And for them, it's kind of similar. It's inside, it's lateral, it's angle. So those three kind of play with any position. And then for them, right, their specific position set, as opposed to being vertical for the tackles, it's up for the guards, right? So here's some examples of that. I'm going to go fast because I want to make sure we get the chance to see all the film here, but essentially the right guard here, right? So he's on the man side by himself, right, on a 2-eye. So he's inside setting. So the same way the tackle was inside setting on a 4-eye, right? Screws on screws. The tackle's doing the same thing on a 2-eye here. Okay. All right. Left guard here, right? Same thing, man side, right? He's one-on-one, right? Inside set, screws on screws, right? Make the guy play through you, right? Make him play through you, right? Don't drop the inside foot, right? Don't give him an easy run lane. Okay, right guard here, same thing, right? Inside set. I don't like the fact that he kind of hops out of his stance, right? But he's a hell of an athlete, he can plant and redirect, right? And stay in front of a moving target, right? Okay, so that's an effective rep with less than ideal technique. Okay, right guard here, same thing, right? Inside set, boom, right? Right to the screws, right? Square on him, right? Now get ready to dance. Okay, left guard here, same thing, right? Got an inside shade. I'm going to set inside. That guy runs away, right? I'm gonna follow, not chase, right? Follow him, right? But don't chase him, right? Chase means you're out of control. I'm going to follow him, right? And if something else shows up, right, wearing the opposite color cloth, right, I'll go follow that, right? I promise you, we did not work this twist game in practice that week, right? But just by having good fundamentals and technique, right here, right, working that stuff, right, we can't fall into a pass off here. Okay, so those are a bunch of inside sets. Let me get the lateral sets here for the guards. Let's get that here for a second. Here we go. All right, so left guard here, right, working a lateral set. Okay, right. So he's got tight 3 technique, right? Boom, right. Same as the tackles, right? Really, honestly, if you watch the tackle and guard, the left tackle, left guard, they're both kind of lateral setting, right? They both are going to get an inside rusher, right? So, right, boom, great job of the guard, right, setting lateral. Great job of the tackle setting lateral, right? And then reacting right to where the guy goes, right? Now it becomes a mirror drill. Okay, left guard here, right? Lateral set on a tight 3 technique, right? Boom, right? Inside foot doesn't move. Outside foot sets just enough right to get square, right? Okay, my target, right? And now I'm forcing him to play through my body, right? As opposed to having to give him an edge and dropping. Okay, right guard here, lateral set on a three technique. Pretty good job, right? Okay. All right, let's see maybe two more, and then we'll switch to the next one. So left guard here, lateral set, same thing, right? Tight three technique, set lateral. Don't move the inside foot, right? Good. All right, last one here, don't move, right? Right guard here, lateral set, right? Again, don't move the inside foot, right? Just set lateral, stay inside out, right? Get ready to dance. Okay. All right, so what are the angle sets next? Here we go. All right, left guard here. All right, okay, so he's got a wide three technique now. Okay, so a lateral set won't cover up enough, right? He's got an angle set, right? And again, right, same as tackle, right? That angle, right? Okay. The difference between a tackle angle set and a guard angle set is the timing of it, right? For a tackle, your job, the point of the angle set is to get your hands on the rusher before his third step is firmly in the ground, right? Same thought process for the guards, but take a step off, two steps, right? So you want to get your hands on the rusher before his second step, right, is firmly in the ground, okay, right, at guard, right? So if this was a straight rush, right, obviously his hands are going right away, right? It becomes a mirror drill, right? He powers that thing down, pass off to the center, right? Not that. All right, left guard here, same thing. He's got a wide three technique, right? One lateral set is going to cut it. He's got an angle set. Let's count this guy's steps. One, two, hands are on. Right. So he was able to essentially on an angle set, guys, what we're trying to do is make a wide three a tight three, right? Or a wide five a tight five, right? You gotta eat up some space, okay, right, to make that guy a tight technique quickly. Right, left guard here again, right? Wide three technique. He's going to angle set his kind of steps here. There's one, there's two. He struck already. Good. Nice shot. All right, angle set here for the left guard, right? This is on the short side, so he's going two inside double team early, right? Outside double team late. That's a different conversation. Right. Okay. Right guard here again. Angle set on a wide three technique. Right. You're going to see him here. Set angle. Boom. Right now it becomes a twist game. Right. We can pass it off. Left. 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 All right. Great three-man pass off right there, man. Good job. All right. Right guard here again. Right. I think that guy was. It's actually a defensive end playing D tackle, so he was sitting a little wider, right, on a faster rusher. Good job there. All right, let me get to upset. So this is the position specific set for a guard, right? So tight three technique on the man side, right? At times, right, they changed up to not always be angle setting or lateral setting, right? We'll give them the freedom to upset, right? Some guys call it up kick, right? So you're going to actually gain ground with your near foot and your near hand, trying to strike that far number immediately before the guy's even out of his stance, right? You're trying to engage him right away and take away any momentum or chance he has to build momentum against him, right? You're going to want to use this against, right, really big, powerful rushers. You don't want to give a chance of bull rushing. Sometimes they're effective against like mugged up linebackers or that kind of stuff because they're not used to getting, jump set of quick setting. Okay. We don't do a ton of this, right? But occasionally we give our guys the opportunity, right? Here's left guard, right? See him kind of gain ground. Now, he doesn't make contact, right? Because the guy kind of backs off, right? But you see him kind of gain ground, right? Towards his target, right? And then get back in face. Right guard, same thing here. Right, tight three technique on the man side, right? He's going to gain ground at the guy, strike him right away, right? Never give him a chance, right, to gain any momentum, right? In all reality, that pass rusher never crosses line of scrimmage. It's a hell of a job for the right guard. Okay, so those are all the different sets of stuff that our guards and tackles take. Centers, again, same thing. Well, they don't really work inside because for them it's just lateral, but they're going to work lateral right and left, right on shades. They're going to work angle right and left, right on two eyes or as they're entering shorts. And then for them, their position specific reps, right, they have three different versions of the same set. They have a money set, a snatch set, or a stab set. So I'm going to kind of skip or do these real quick, right? But here's a center working a lateral set, right, on a tight shade. It's the same as a left guard and a tight three technique or whatever, right? So it's the same thought process, right? You know what I mean? Guys on my body, right? I'm going to set lateral on them, right? So same thing here, right? Lateral set, right, on a shade. Okay. All right. Let me get, all right. Then you're going to have some angle sets at center, right? Where he's working either towards a two eye or into a short, right? Great job with the guard to kind of help him out a little bit. Same thing for the center, right? You want to get your hands on before two full steps, right? Same as the guard. Okay. All right. And we're looking at it here. Okay. All right. Let me go a little. Let me skip forward here so you can see them. Right. So all right. So money set. Right. So when we're in a 5-on-5 situation, right, where the center's one-on-one on a nose guard, okay, right, that guy can work right or left, right. So our fastball, our base way of handling, we call it money set, right, is we're just going to kind of just take a step back with each foot and kind of create some more space between our body and his body, right. So if he does pick a side, okay, right, we can kind of work and react and recover, okay, right. Do not recommend this against like bigger, thicker, heavier rushers who want to run through your body because obviously if you go backwards, he goes forward, right. You got a chance to get knocked on your ass. But against sub package rushers, mucked up linebackers, like that kind of stuff, right? It's effective. Okay. All right. Another example of that here. All right. Here's a money set, right? Guy kind of just give a little bit of ground, not much, right? We're not like hopping ass back there, but just enough, right? So we can get back in the way, right? And create some space for ourselves, right? So we can react to a moving target. Okay. All right. Same thing here, right? Just kind of get back in the way. This is very effective. Like you see here, like our defense does a bunch of this like pick twist stuff, right? Out of their bear package right now, right? We're getting back on behind the guard. So we're much harder to pick off now, you know. All right. Then we also have the ability to go a snatch set, right? Where if you know the guy is a big bull rush guy or whatnot, right? We'll kind of set him up with a money set, right? Let him think he can bull rush us, right? And then kind of pull the freaking rug out from under him, right? And pull him to the ground, right? So it's one example of that. All right, here's one from a game. I'm playing Ball State this year, right? Okay. He's trying to snatch a guy to the ground. Okay. All right. Then we have sorry, same thing here. All right, snatch set. Again, we don't do this a bunch. From time to time as a change up, right? Then you have a stab set, right? So a stab set is when essentially, hey, it's almost like an upset for the guard, but we're trying to funnel a guy a direction. So the call here is whatever the call is, where this guy knows the center knows that he's got no help here and no help here, but he has help from this guy. This guy's kind of like setting backwards and looking to help either side, right? So if we know it's coming, right, we want to try to funnel this guy right towards our help, right? And if he doesn't want to go that way, right, he's got to run through right a freaking spear stab right from our offhand. All right, so pretty good job by the center right there, right? We're going to stab set. Okay, right. Same thing here, right? So I believe, right, based on the call, right, he has help from the right guard here. So he wants to stab with his left hand and funnel that guy towards his help. Right. And now if he wants to go that way, he's fighting through a stab, right? Okay. And he should be flattened out pretty quickly. Okay. All right. Same thing here in the game, right? Okay. So he has help, I believe, to his right. So he's going to stab with his left hand, right? Trying to funnel him to the right, right? The defense kind of backs off and his help shows up right there. So good job. All right, same thing here, stab set. So again, the right guard is his help. So he's going to stab. He's probably stepping too far over to left, right, but he's stabbing with his left hand, trying to funnel that guy towards his help. Okay. All right, this is probably the last one. Stab set here. Help to his right. All right, pretty good job, right? Stabbing that guy with his left hand, right? Trying to funnel him to his right again. And again, sometimes they don't want to go that way, right? That's great, right? But now he has to fight through, right? You him getting stabbed, right? And by the time he gets back over here, Ricky, right, their ball's gone already. All right. So great job there, right? So here's my contact info, guys, right? So I've showed this already a couple of times, right? My email address, my cell phone, and my Twitter. Email is probably your best bet. I have I'm not sure if I have this one, but I for sure have the first two presentations right on MP3, MP4s. If you want, that email to you so you can kind of go through it on your own time and take more time to go through it, whatnot. By all means, please do so. And And yeah, that's about it, man. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you. I know we have some time for some questions. So that'll be good to ask some questions here.
Yeah, Coach. Thank you so much for that presentation. I'm going to open the floor up for questions. Again, you can ask questions by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. Type your questions into me, and I will address them to Coach. All right, Coach. Let's answer some questions here. Okay, with a stab set, is that the same foot, same hand?
Yes, yeah. So if I'm stabbing my left hand, again, it's almost the exact same as like an up kick or an upset for a guard. It's the same thought process, right? We call it stab different than upset because we're trying to on a upset a guard, he's one on one. He's not trying to funnel that guy anywhere, right? Whereas on a stab set, a center is trying to funnel that guy towards his help. So they're a little bit different in terms of the end result, but the technique's exactly the same. Yes.
Okay, recommendations for tackles who are light and long. We lack strength compared to the DNs we see in our D3 conference.
That is exactly our problem too, right? We have not had a tackle play significantly for us in the last 4 years that's been more than 285 pounds, right? And in our conference, every team has at least one big, strong, heavy defensive end. It's about that same weight that can bull rush you. So that's why we set vertically as little as possible. We're going to lateral set, we're going to angle set, we're going to flat set, we're going to get our hands on guys as fast as possible, so that now we're playing in space and we're not turning it into a fist fight, right? We want the opposite from our guards. We want our guards to try to, hunker down and whatnot. But our tackles, man, we're not built for that. So we want to try and engage guys and take away time and space as much as possible. So again, if the lighter your tackles, right, the more aggressive you got to set, in my opinion.
If introducing zone blocking at the middle school level, what would you first emphasize with younger players?
Footwork and eyes. That's the biggest thing, right? Like what's your exact footwork, right? Whether you're slide driving or scooting or place driving, and then ultimately where do your eyes have to go immediately? Because again, and I'm not sure how much movement you're going to see at that level, but at our level, that's all we see, right? So the better your eyes are burned on where they belong, the more you can react to movement.
What's the pros and cons of having linemen line their feet up parallel versus staggered like they are here?
I don't know the answer because I've never actually played or coached in the system where our linemen were aligned parallel. I guess if you were doing a lot of lateral crossball pulling or trapping or that kind of stuff, maybe that would be an advantage possibly. But I've never coached or played in a system like that, so I really probably would be just kind of guessing as opposed to having any kind of expertise.
Can you demonstrate arm movement in the stab step?
In terms of on the run game or pass?
They didn't specify here.
Yeah. Well, so if it's in the run game, right, we're talking about like the drop stab pause, right? If I'm going to my right, if it's an outside zone play to my right and I'm yellow on this shoulder, I would drop my play. You really can't see my feet, but I would drop my play side foot. I would stab right towards the near shoulder pad of the defender, right, and try to play as long as possible with my backside hand, and then get my eyes into whatever's in my zone, right, the defensive end or the linebacker or whatever's there. So it's fucking read. So it's drop, stab, pause. And the pause just gives you a chance to see what the hell's happening in front of you. That also kind of makes you kind of hang on this longer. So the guy who's coming scooting behind you is not getting penetrated on, right? Because you're leaving too soon.
All right, last question here, Coach. When teaching high school, I see the guys struggling most with reach blocks. What is a good alternative to a reach if the players struggle? It says drive off the reach spot.
Yeah, so that's kind of I alluded to that earlier on in the second presentation. We don't use the word reach or hook or nothing because to me that's where guys get in trouble. Guys, they cross over and they run past the defender, right? You know what I mean? So we've gone to aiming at the screws at tackle, especially on defensive end. So that gives you a much tighter aiming point, so you're less likely to run by it. And then we adjust the footwork to stay as square as possible so we can react to cross-body movement. So if it's a tight defensive end, we're going to slide drive our feet, right, because he's right on us right now. If he's a wider defensive end, we're going to scoot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, to cover more ground faster. But ultimately, at the point of contact, whether I'm slide driving or I'm scooting, I end up in the exact same place. So my play side foot kind of behind, my backside foot driving forward and my line of force going vertically right through where that guy's screws are. Again, doing it this way has really, really, really helped our guys not run by blocks as much, right? Which I know is a big thing when you're trying to man reach or whatever. Right? That's a big thing for us. It was a big thing for us that we've kind of cut in about 2/3 that issue.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. That's all the questions. Thank you again for sharing with us. Make sure to check out the rest of the schedule on Glazier Drive to find the next sessions you'd like to attend. Thanks again, Coach. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. Right, kid. Best luck to you guys.